But now, when we get the film, and I start thinking about how this season playing out, and you start looking for things that teams do at a very high level compared to the rest of the field and what they'll have to do, Dallas Cowboys has the best defense in the NFL. And they have the opportunity to rush every quarterback that they're going to have to play in the NFC with just 4 guys and find those matchups. We've lamented about Micah Parsons and how great he is. Randy Gregory, $100 million defensive end, who's starting to show up on film a lot. I know everybody attributes it to sacks and all of that. Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence plays the run stoutly. He still is getting pressure on the quarterback. And last week, obviously, we see him create the turnover. We see him punch the ball out a couple weeks prior. Randy Gregory was trending towards leading the Cowboys in sacks before he had an injury and sat out a couple games. 11, obviously, Micah Parsons doing this thing. But ain't it funny how when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys and we focused on how well they play up front on their defensive line, they have the league leader in interceptions in Trayvon Diggs on the backside. The one thing that concerns me about the Cowboys is if Anthony Brown gives up play after play, or he has some situations where he's getting pass interference. Seems like he's getting a handle on it. I'm not here to bash Anthony Brown, but if I was the focus, that's what teams look at as the weakness. Don't sleep on these Cowboys, man. Defense led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl last year. The Cowboys look a lot like that, and a lot of it is familiar based on what they've been doing these past, well, for a long time. I ain't even gonna say the past 4 weeks. They've been playing at a very high level for like the last 8-9 weeks.
I'm gonna say this as kindly as I can say it for you, Swagoo, because I don't want to hurt your heart right now. But I'm gonna say it as kindly as I can say it. When you think about the Dallas Cowboys and their defensive ranking, and I agree with you, they're very opportunistic. Their front 4 is fantastic. I give you a ton of credit on that. But they do play Washington twice, the Giants twice, right? Like they play the Eagles twice. So when you think about what they're having to stop, these are not playoff caliber teams that they're having to face. When you think about the first play of the game for Washington football team, why are you going to throw at 7? I can guarantee you Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, any other halfway intelligent offensive quarterback ain't going to go challenge that cat at the first play of the game, right? So when you're thinking about how this team is made up, I agree with you in turnovers and opportunistic defense. But when I think about a team that can match score for score, I still got to go Tampa Bay, because when you think about what Tom Brady can do going against the Packers, I still think he can move the ball up and down the field, whether it's Vaughn, whether it's Jones, whether Leonard Fournette, who I do think Leonard Fournette will be back for the playoffs. I also think Mike Evans will be back for the playoffs. When you think about going matching score for score, I don't think Green Bay can stop or slow them down. I do question how the Cowboys are going to match, because when you think about Aaron Rodgers, he ain't going to give you an opportunity to pick the ball off. Like, there's one thing about that cat. Every year you think about touchdowns to interception ratio, he ain't going to give you that opportunistic play. So can the Cowboys stop their offense without having that big swing? And can their offense play the long game, the long field? Continuing drives, sustaining drives, because you and I both know why their offense looked as good as they did last week. It's because their defense gives them short field and gives them these huge momentum swings and a block punt for a touchdown. So when I think about who's in this division and who's in this conference, I still go Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because listen, when you line up Tom Brady, for whatever it is, for 44 years, this cat always seems to find a way to get his best against their best and make plays. I still got to lean that way.
Yep, I got you, and I understand it, and it's easy. See, you wanted to come on First Take and do easy today, Saturday. It's easy. Tom Brady plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we know what he's done over the years. Okay, cool. We know what Tom Brady is. I'm telling you right now, though, Jeff Saturday, last year is going to play out a lot like this year will. The teams that have an ability defensively to make your life miserable will have a shot at winning the Super Bowl. I don't see Tampa as that right now. And yeah, not to their own fault. Shaq Barrett just went out with an MCL sprain. You think about this defense and how they've suffered from the injuries and the attrition. And might I add, like the New Orleans Saints just blanked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it was
you-
because of
come
pass
on,
rush.
man.
It was because of that defensive line.
It's
Jeff.
because of the way the backfield. It's the way that the Saints' defensive backfield can match up with them. And by the way, Brown was not there. You bring Brown back in.
Yeah.
Brown can beat them defenders, bro. So, hey, there's a reason they went
So you
2-0. There's a
you don't
reason they
think the
went
Cowboys
2-0 in
can
the
match up?
regular season last year. And when they played for the dance, you saw Tampa Bay take the win again, right? Don't compare those two.
You don't think the Cowboys have an opportunity to match up on the back end enough for those guys to get home?
I think Diggs can. I don't think Diggs. I mean, I think Diggs can. I don't think in totality they can match up. Evans
Jeff, these folks got 34
AB,
takeaways.
And no, I don't. I don't think so. We're gonna see.
They had all of that week 1, Jeff, and the game went down to the wire.
And they
you
lost.
don't believe that the Dallas Cowboys right now can match up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from a defensive standpoint.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to beat the Bucs, is what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what I
mean, we could all think that. I think the Cowboys will. Would.
All right.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.